Peter Jackson, it's so great to meet you. I feel like I should bow in your presence or something. You've done such a fantastic job with The Hobbit.
Thank you. No, you're fine. Just stay in your chair.
Perfectly
acceptable.
After the first trilogy did so well, was it kind of a vote of confidence to come back with this one, or did it make you a little bit more nervous that you had to live up to that hype again?
Well, I was aware of that and aware of the dangers of coming back, I guess, because, you're always going to be held in comparison. But in a way, any movie I make is going to have a little bit of that going for it. And The Hobbit is such a charming book. It's such a lovely book that, I'm not going to say no to doing it. And I am a Tolkien fan. I mean, that's the reason why I'm involved in these films.
Of course, you're back after almost a decade since the first movie. So does it feel like all that time has passed, or has much changed?
Well, on one level, it certainly feels like that degree of time has passed, especially when I look in the mirror.
You look great.
But stepping on set and actually starting shoot The Hobbit, where we were surrounded by some of the same actors, Ian McKellen and Andy Serkis, Elijah Wood, and the same crew as well. I mean, a lot of the people behind the camera were exactly the same crew as we used on Rings. And so that did feel, it felt like we hadn't left the set on some days, for sure.
There's so much going on here in terms of the story and the scale of it, and then, of course, the way you shot it. What for you was the most important thing to get right here?
Well, it's always the story. It's always the characters. I mean, you want to entertain the audience. That's what I am. I'm an entertainer, and so that's only going to come from an emotional connection with what's going on the screen. It doesn't really matter. The technology ultimately isn't going to affect that. It is just purely the storytelling, which really starts with the screenwriting. I mean, that's the most critical part of the process.
And on the subject of the technology with the 48 frames per second, I mean, this was quite a controversial thing to come out with, and there's been a lot of speculation whether it worked. Do you feel confident that the risk has paid off?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always been happy to bet on myself. I mean, that's what you kind of end up having to do. And I've been living with 48 frames for the last year and a half, and with looking at all the rushes that we've been shooting and the various cuts of the films, I'm very used to it now. So I find it jarring to look at a film at 24 frames now.
Oh, really?
It looks primitive, it looks crude, and I kind of don't actually like it. So I think people are going to be. It's just something that it's something you need to get used to. I mean, even when you see The Hobbit at a high frame rate, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes to settle into it.
But then it's all around you. It's like you're right there in it. It's fantastic.
But that's a good thing. I mean,
definitely.
that's we're in a world where kids are happy to look at movies on an iPad. So as a film industry, we have to do something to actually enhance and lift the bar of the cinema experience. Yeah.
Now, Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, I could not imagine a more perfect person to play this character. What was it about Martin that I know you lost sleep over the fact that you thought you might not get him. What is it about Martin that you thought would bring Bilbo to life?
Well, he knows the character of Bilbo Baggins very well. He knows how to play it. I mean, he's a very good dramatic actor, but he's also a great comic actor. And Tolkien, he created Bilbo Baggins as this fussy little Englishman, repressed, suspicious of the outside world, not wanting to get involved in anything dangerous, and that lends itself to some great social humour when he's dragged off on this dangerous adventure with his dwarves. And Martin knows how to play that. He knows how to play it with a very endearing, charming quality.
Definitely. And before I let you go, I mean, when you finish your career as a filmmaker and you look back, you must be so happy to have these movies and The Lord of the Rings. Do you think that this will be the legacy that you leave behind?
I suspect so. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, I've got a couple more movies left in me.
Absolutely.
But no. Sure. I mean, you can't. You can't deny the fact that I'll probably never have, the Oscars or the financial success with any other film, which is great. I mean, just doing it once is fine by me.
Peter, congratulations on the movie, and thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to see what you have in store for the next two.